Hello, grade 5. Welcome back to another week of e-learning for social studies. This week we have a little bit less content. What we're going to do is we're going to do one video today, and the rest of your week is going to be working on an assignment. An assignment based on the information from today's video and a little bit more that you have to research and figure out for yourself. So, today's video we are going to discuss the Underground Railroad and a journey for many individuals from the United States into Canada in the early 1800s, mid 1800s time period. So, we're going to open up our Canadian history booklets and do the final page. We are done with these booklets after today. The final page, it's 104. And we're going to do some highlighting and some reading out of that. And then I might just give you a little bit of an explanation of the assignment after we do that highlighting. Okay? So, open your booklets, get your highlighter ready, and let's do this. Okay, here we go. We're on page 104, which is the last page of our social history booklets. All right, so we are on the Underground Railroad, Freedom Trail to Canada. And that quote at the top reads, "Freedom can be found if you follow the North Star to Canada." By 1812, black people living in Canada were free from slavery and their rights were protected by British law. However, in the United States, the black people continued to be slaves to a white master. So, we're learning about the population of black people within the United States who were still enslaved by white people. So, we are going to highlight those first two sentences. So in Canada, the black population was free and they were protected by the British law. In the US, on the other hand, they still practiced slavery, and so black people were slaves to white people in a lot of states. We'll continue here. Slaving on plantations, they faced unbearable treatment and harsh living conditions, so it wasn't very good for them. It is no wonder that the black people sought a way out to the freedom land known as Canada. So we'll highlight that sentence. So they didn't live very well, so they wanted out. They wanted to find a better life. They wanted out of this type of life. Some slaves relied on the North Star, but most followed the Underground Railroad to Canada. The Underground Railroad has no tracks, so it's not like a regular railroad. Underground meant that it was a secret operation carried out by courageous people, so those were brave people, likened only by their hatred of slavery and their willingness to hide, feed, and help the fugitive slaves. So to help those slaves who are on the run. So we'll highlight that sentence. This is very important. Underground meant that it was a secret operation. So it doesn't mean that it's actually underground. It just means that it's secret. All right, and the railroad is kind of this network of people on the pathway up to a better life for these black fugitives. The Black Freedom Seekers traveled by night through the waterways, swamps, forests, mountains, and backroads to Canada. They endured unbelievable conditions, including starving, enduring extreme and horrid weather conditions, and hiding in unbelievable places, such as boxes, barns, cellars, wagons, ships, and holes. So it wasn't very easy for them to escape from their masters, they called them. It wasn't very easy for them to escape slavery. The fear of punishment or death if captured by their master, faith in God, courage, strength, and determination provided the drive for their quest for freedom. So, those things helped push the black slaves to get out of this, to try and get a better life again. People that supported the Underground Railroad and assisted the passengers, in quotes, with food and shelter were Quakers, free blacks, First Nations, and various religious groups such as Presbyterians, Methodists, and Baptists. So, there were some groups of people that supported this and that wanted freedom for these people. So, they were the Quakers, the Free Blacks, the First Nations people, and the various religious groups, as those ones listed. So we will highlight that sentence. That is important to know. Your assignment is going to have something to do with a very important person who helped with the Underground Railroad. We'll continue. Nothing was ever written about this Underground Railroad because of the risk of discovery. So nothing was ever written down about the Underground Railroad because of the risk of discovery. Information was passed by word of mouth using code words associated with a railroad. So, nothing was ever written. All the information was passed by word of mouth. That means spoken word. So, I go to my neighbor and I tell them, I have a passenger who needs help, blah, blah, blah. Okay? I don't ever write it down. I just tell them, this is what's happening. We're going to do it. So we'll highlight that last sentence there. And here are some examples that they give of the words that they used to help spread word about the Underground Railroad and whatever they needed to do. So first, the word agents. These were people who helped slaves find the railroad. So these were people who maybe they knew a black slave and they said, you know what, I can get you out, I can help you. So they helped them find the railroad. Conductors were guides. So these people were the people who basically guided the black slaves from point to point along their journey along the railroad. Remember, it's not a literal railroad. It's basically just a description of the journey that they went through. Stations and depots were hiding places and places to eat. So train stations, right? That's what a station is. It's a place to rest and eat. Station masters are the people who would hide the black slaves in their homes. So these people would hide them in their homes from being found and punished. Passengers or cargo were the escaped slaves. These are the slaves that were escaping. They're referred to as passengers or cargo. Remember what cargo is? Cargo is the freight or the things that are being shipped on a train. Slaves would obtain a ticket. So they'd get a ticket on their journey, for their journey, sorry. Stockholders gave money or supplies. So a stockholder today is someone who holds ownership in a company or has money in a company, invested in a company. So stockholders gave money or supplies to help the slaves get their freedom. And the password they used was a friend of a friend. So if I was going to someone, maybe one of the station masters, I would say I have a friend of a friend who has some passengers. Then he would know, okay, we're talking about the railroad. All right, so obviously I'm not going to highlight all those. They're all important terms. You can just kind of do a little box. Important terms for the Underground Railroad to understand how they passed messages along to other members of the railroad to help these slaves escape from being in captivity, from being forced to work when they didn't want to. A lot of these slaves were sold by their families, so they didn't really have any rights. So the Underground Railroad gave them the freedoms that they needed to escape these awful situations. Okay, so that's all the highlighting for today. And guess what? We're done your booklets. Yes, we're done. All right. I'm going to pop back on video here and I will kind of explain the assignment. The assignment will not be released until tomorrow though. Okay, I'll explain that in full detail in 1 second. All right, so we finished our highlighting. Our booklets are done. Hooray! Now I'm going to give you a little bit of an explanation of what your assignment is going to be like. I'm not going to go into all the details. That'll be explained in the assignment itself. It's not too difficult. Don't worry, you'll all be able to finish it. You have the whole rest of this week to finish this assignment. It will be done by yourself individually, and you're going to research one individual from the Underground Railroad. Everyone will be researching the same person, and I will be providing the websites for you to research from on the assignment. And this individual, her name is Harriet Tubman. Harriet Tubman, okay? She was very crucial to helping many black slaves find freedom and escape their captivity. So, we're going to do a little bit of a research assignment on Harriet Tubman. There are 5 questions in this assignment. I won't go through them with you right now. They're pretty straightforward. All the answers are found on the 2 websites I give you. Okay, there are 2 links I've attached to the assignment, and all you need to do is research the questions. So there will be question 1. You'll go through the question, understand the question. If you don't, then you need to ask your teacher, send them a message so that we can explain it. Okay? Then you will search the websites for the answers, and you're going to do full sentence answers in as much detail as you can. If you leave details out, you might lose some marks. Okay? And then, once you have finished all of your questions, okay, there will be 2 ways you can complete it. You can make a Word document, type out all your answers, save the file, and send it through the assignment. Okay, you just need to attach it and then submit. Okay, the second way, you can do it by hand using a pen or a pencil on a lined piece of paper. You can just write your answers out. When you finish that, you take a picture with a phone or an iPad or even your laptop, whatever camera you have. Take a picture, attach that file then onto the assignment and submit, okay? That's all you have to do. It's not difficult. You all should know how to attach files through the messages, through things on Edmodo. If you're having troubles, we can help you out. Okay, ask your teacher for help. Okay, I'm not releasing the questions today. They will be released tomorrow, which is Monday. And you'll have all week until Thursday late at night. Okay, so you'll have all day Thursday as well. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you'll have to complete. It's 5 questions. It's not a lot. But you will need to do some reading and some research. That's why I'm giving you the rest of the week to do it. And this is going to prepare us for our final unit as well, which is called My Identity. And we're going to do a big assignment for that. So this is kind of a miniature assignment of what we're going to do after this unit. Okay, so have a great day. This is all you need to do for today is the highlighting. And then tomorrow, look for the assignment posted on Edmodo and do your research questions. Have a great week.